I've got huge Hedera Hbar news for you. They have launched a new asset tokenization studio. They have partnered with Ripple and Aptos in the EU and much more. And I want to give you some updates from Donald Trump's current, it's actually happening right now as I'm recording this, Twitter Spaces talking about his DeFi project. And next week, there's going to be a hearing where all 5 SEC commissioners will be present before Congress. You can imagine the fireworks that are going to happen. Let's break it down. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button, as well as a thumbs up button, and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, I got a lot of news to share with you, but it's all great stuff. Be sure to watch and listen to the end. First, let's kick it off with the Fed. There are some updates around how much basis points the Fed may cut rates by. The data is showing that a lot of people now believe it's going to be 50 instead of 25, but we'll have to wait and see. 50 would be pretty bullish with the market. Even Elizabeth Warren today came out and said the Fed should cut by 75 basis points, but we know she does a lot of these things just to get her name in the press. But we could see 50, it looks like, but I'm going to go conservative and say 25. But hey, if we get 50, that would be really good. And, we're waiting to see what the impact will be on the markets. This week, we can't really tell much, though, because there's a lot of volatility the week of any Fed announcements. But from a macro standpoint, the markets are setting up for the next leg up, and rate cuts are going to be bullish. Obviously, there's going to be volatility, like I mentioned. Now, one of the factors I've been sharing with you guys is global liquidity is on the rise. Here, macro investor Raoul Pal shared an updated chart, actually multiple charts, showing that global liquidity is on the rise and it's anticipated to keep moving upwards. And as a result, the price of Bitcoin will follow. So we know asset prices move with global liquidity, folks. That is a big driver of asset valuations. And specifically in the United States, we are seeing a breakout of the M2 money supply. So a lot of data points are showing this, guys. I am very bullish. Once again, you can look at charts, you can look at the technicals and so forth. That's important, but you also got to look at the macro. We want to look at the full picture, right? And also look at the fundamentals. And the other factor I've been telling you guys about, they're going to start money printing, which will contribute to the global liquidity rising, of course. Here is Sven Henrik, who's a great trader. I've had him on the podcast. He highlighted a chart from the Fed, which is the overnight reverse repurchase agreements. And he says reverse repo collapsing lower. The countdown clock to the next QE, quantitative easing program, has begun. The only unknown, what fancy not QE name they'll give it this time. So usually they don't come out and say, hey, we're printing more money. They'll call it quantitative easing or economic stimulus or this and that, right? Maybe it'll be like housing credit stimulus or something like that, because we've heard about rumors that they want to give first-time home buyers credit. They'll package it in some fancy name. But the point is, more money printing, more liquidity, the higher asset prices rise. That includes stocks and crypto. So interesting times ahead. Now, Donald Trump's Twitter Spaces is actually still going on right now. I listened to some of it. It was just to pretty much promote the new launch of that DeFi project his sons are pretty much working on. So nothing groundbreaking, nothing significant here. He did double down that he supports crypto. He made a statement that crypto is a very powerful market. So he talked a bit about his NFTs and so forth. So nothing major here that we haven't heard before. So just a heads up on that, guys. Now, there's some very big news around Hedera, guys. Stick with me on this one. A lot of big stuff. I am an HBAR token holder in full transparency. I believe in this project. First up, they tweeted out, Hedera is excited to join Ripple and Aptos Foundation as founding members of the MICA Crypto Alliance with technical support from DLT Science Foundation. So big partnership here, especially in the EU. Remember, EU MICA is that regulation that was passed just, I think, earlier this year. And the EU is ahead of the United States right now, but it's smart that these companies are coming together, forming these alliances and working with government officials, doing advocacy and education. This is how you help get the crypto market in the good graces of these governments, get things moving, get regulations going, getting doors opened up for the industry, right, folks? So all great stuff. This is what we want to see. These are competing blockchain companies. So the fact that they're working together is a very good sign. I've often stated that the industry does need to police itself a bit. Yes, we need regulations and legislation, but we got to make sure we come together and build great solutions and weed out the bad actors. Now, the other big news is that Hedera joined the Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust Initiative, contributing its entire code base to launch of the Hero project. So this is pretty big. I'm not sure how many of you know about Linux. It's an operating system. I used it in the past, but they are the founding premier member of this new initiative called the Linux Foundation's Decentralized Trust Project. So I love it. This is what you want to do if you want to get adoption. Go partner with different software companies, different hardware companies, branch out so you get more adoption. You get more developers coming and building on your blockchain. Now, just this evening, I got a press release sent to me, which is going to be released tomorrow. It's about Hedera's new asset tokenization studio. The headline states, providing an all-in-one toolkit for tokenizing regulatory compliant real-world assets on-chain. So everyone is trying to build their solution for tokenization. It's what I've been telling you for years. We're headed to the token economy, everything running on the blockchains, traditional assets like stocks and securities tokenized on the blockchain, eventually real estate, artwork, and all these things, 24/7 trading markets, no more opening and closing bell, instant settlement, truly global markets where there's no borders. So this is really big. And if you go to Hedera's website, they already started highlighting it here, Asset Tokenization Studio, and you can read up on all the details there. But let me give you a quick snippet of what this press release says. Hedera Asset Tokenization Studio, an open source toolkit for the configuration, issuance, and management of tokenized bonds and equities on the Hedera network, has launched. Unlike the basic ERC 1400 standard for security tokens that requires management of key asset details off-chain, thereby adding a level of increased risk, the Hedera Asset Tokenization Studio keeps the entire process on-chain. The studio offers a full suite of turnkey features, including bond coupons, stock dividends, whitelisting, and compliance with the jurisdiction-specific regulations, ensuring that all asset details are securely managed entirely on-chain. Now, they took a shot at Ethereum here, highlighting that unlike the basic ERC 1400 standard, and we know BlackRock is actually tokenizing on Ethereum, their fund is called BITL. But, we're still in the trial and error phase of many of these things. So could BlackRock jump to Hedera? Sure. Or expand to Hedera? Sure. But, we have to see how the market reacts. But sounds really good what Hedera is doing here. And like I said, I hold HBAR. I'm bullish on it. There's a lot of big names in Hedera's governing council, like Google and IBM and so forth. Big things happening here, and I'm diversified. I never put all my eggs in one basket because you never know what could happen. But I definitely believe in this project and its future potential. Now, a great place where you can buy the HBAR token and other altcoins and Bitcoin is on Uphold. They have 300 plus cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, and all the altcoins, guys. And I've been using this platform since 2018. They're reliable. I trust them. I can vouch for them. I've interviewed the CEO. I just interviewed him recently. But over the years, I've interviewed the CFO and different folks. So this is a really great platform. Recently, they launched a great product called USD interest accounts, where you can place your cash on the platform and earn up to 5% APY. But your balance has to be over $1,000. Below 1,000, it's 2%, but over 1,000 is 5%. Best of all, it's FDIC insured, just like a bank. And there are no membership or subscription fees. There's no fees, guys, no fees at all. And there's no lockup terms. So you can pull your money in and out whenever you want. That's really great freedom. This is a product I'm leveraging. So if you'd like to learn more about Uphold, check out the link in the description. Now, we got news that the Kingdom of Bhutan now owns 13,011 Bitcoin worth $780.49 million. So pretty amazing that you have these different countries and jurisdictions around the world that are buying Bitcoin. This is not a trend that's going away. I think as money printing continues, the debasement of currency, people will look for hard assets like Bitcoin, like gold, to continue to hedge against that debasement. And as Paul Tudor Jones said, though, Bitcoin and crypto is the fastest horse in the race. And in fact, Michael Saylor doubled down again. Just the other day, we heard he bought more Bitcoin. Well, now they're doing another private offering of $700 million of convertible senior notes, issuing more debt so that they can buy more Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, I tell you, man, this guy's a Bitcoin addict. Moving ahead, guys. So Hester Peirce dissented on the NFT enforcement actions recently by the SEC. We know that the SEC sent a Wells notice to the folks at OpenSea, which is completely nonsense. Here, Amanda Tuminelli, who I'll have on the podcast pretty soon. Amanda said, another banger of a dissent. And here's what Hester said. The securities laws are not needed here, and their application is harmful both in the present case and as future precedent. Why shouldn't a chef be able to sell memberships to eat at her kitchen table and to collect royalties on resales of those memberships? NFTs offer a promising way to allow creative people such as chefs, musicians, or visual artists to monetize their talent in a potentially efficient way for selling access to experiences and communities. Experiments like Fly Fish Club are not a threat to the American investor. Creative people should be able to experiment with NFTs without having to consult a high-priced tea leaf reader. Ahem, lawyer. We need regulations, guys, because you see what Gensler is doing. He's running amok. He's going crazy. But what's interesting, folks, Eleanor Terry of Fox Business reported this. She said the full 5-member SEC Commission is preparing to testify in front of the Financial Services Committee / FSC Democrats next Tuesday. This will be the first time the whole commission, not just the chair, has testified together since 2019. Gary Gensler himself would testify alone in front of the Senate the day after on Wednesday. This is fascinating. Can you imagine when the topic of crypto comes up? Because there's a clear divide, as I've been telling you guys. Hester Peirce, Mark Ueda, Republicans support crypto, want legislation. Gensler, a Democrat, and the other 2 commissioners are Democrat, very much anti-crypto, right? You remember when the SEC got called arbitrary and capricious, they lost in the Grayscale case. A couple of those Democrats still voted no to the Bitcoin ETF, even though the judge, the court ruled, hey, what are you guys doing? You have to approve this. Can you believe that, folks? So clear divide. So I'm very curious to see what's going to take place at that hearing. My eyes and ears are going to be glued to this. It's going to be very fascinating. Can you imagine the statements being made from each of these folks? Now, there's also a big hearing coming up on Wednesday, as I mentioned to you guys. It's titled Dazed and Confused, Breaking Down the SEC's Politicized Approach to Digital Assets. You're going to have people from Robinhood, Bitwise, and so forth there. So all of this is setting up for the hearing with Gensler next Wednesday, where he's going to get grilled. And I spoke to Ron Hammond of the Blockchain Association today. I'll publish that interview tomorrow. It's going to be a very interesting 2 weeks with Gensler and the SEC and all the nonsense that Gensler has been up to. So stay tuned. Now, with regards to NFTs, jumping back to that, Congressman William Timmons released a bill called the NFT Act. And Cody Carbone of the Digital Chamber said the SEC continues to overstep while Congress has made it clear they lack the authority on digital assets. The NFT Act by Representative Timmons is a vital step in providing clarity for NFT creators and communities. So we need legislation, guys. Like I said, until then, expect more scumbag activity from scumbag regulator Gary Gensler. All right, moving ahead. Former Celsius CEO Alex Mashinsky, seeks testimony from 6 witnesses as he faces a 115-year prison sentence. Send him away. Put him in the cell next to Sam Bankman-Fried. Even Sam Bankman-Fried recently was trying to appeal. These guys, what world are you living in? You scammed people. You stole their money. You lied to people on TV and in their faces and much more. I remember having Alex Mashinsky on the podcast, and I brought up some of the things people had mentioned over the years, and he was like, no, they're lying. You can come invest on the platform. Go to jail, bro. That's where you should be. Final news item. Binance founder CZ set to be released from prison on September 29th. So CZ getting out, short sentence. I think this is good. Remember, CZ did no fraud, nothing like SBF or Alex Mashinsky. He got hit with KYC AML laws that were broken, but this was the early days of crypto. Binance eventually got themselves into a better place. Now, CZ, part of the ruling was he has to stay away from Binance and crypto for the most part. So don't expect to hear much from him. He'll probably disappear for a while. And maybe next cycle he can come back and be around. But I don't think he can operate in any type of crypto business. But once again, he did not commit any fraud. So just heads up on that. All right, guys, let me know what you think about this news. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to sign up for my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. It includes a lot of crypto insights and knowledge. Don't forget to grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto, on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, also on barnesandnobles.com. Grab a copy to support the podcast. Buy a few copies for your friends and family who want to learn about crypto. And if you bought a copy already, please leave a rating and review. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.